We should be live. Just give us a moment there. Excuse me there. And we're live. I can see myself right in the corner. Happy days. How's it going, guys? It's been a long fucking time. That's one thing for sure. So, do want to start with a big apology in terms of not been on YouTube for a little while. Talking about like the market as it is, doing the BDC and ETH session and whatnot. I went on holiday. Basically, what happened was I went on holiday to Mauritius and I came back and I decided, like, you know what? I need a kind of like a break kind of thing as well. And that's what actually happened. And I think I might have a bit of a problem with the reception at the moment. So I do apologize for that, but it should be fine. Anyway, took a long ass break, right? And I'm back. We'll do the BDC and ETH session on the Tuesday. Then coming on Wednesday, we'll look at doing alt sessions. And on the Wednesday, you guys get to ask whatever you want as well. So we should be going all right, all good as well. So let's just kick it off and just get straight into it as well. Yeah. Without further ado, let's talk about dollar index. Right, with dollar index, the first thing we got is, well, looking at the yearly. Let's do a top-down analysis. Zevo, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Good to see you too as well, man. It has been a while. So looking at dollar index in terms of the market structure itself, as you can see, this is on the yearly top-down analysis. Really and truly, what I'm looking at is like, look, price is currently over here. What's over here is this little area there. So I'm just going to zoom into this, right? Mike, let's fucking go. That's right. I'm just going to zoom into it and I'm just going to show you this, right? What this candle here, this strong ass wick here, like most of us, right? What happens is that we are so focused on looking at the lower time frame. So when I say lower time frame, I mean like the 15 minutes, the 1 hour, sometimes the 4 hours. If we're lucky, we might go on the daily, right? But that's about it as well. But on TradingView, the beauty about TradingView now, right? Like over the year, actually, you can actually have the 12 months for free. All right, so there's no excuse for anybody to actually not go on to the higher time frame and just have a look at what the fuck's going on. Because are we bullish on dollar index? Are we bearish on dollar index? We're bullish on crypto, bearish on crypto, and why? Why are we bullish and why are we bearish? And the whole thing comes down to market structure. That's number one. Now, when it comes to like price action itself, I always like to look at do a quick top-down analysis, see what's going on. This high over here, what capped the market? Well, to me, it will be this area. See this up candle there? That was the last up candle there that sent the market back down. And we send the market down, let me just zoom it down a little bit. Move this over here so my head don't go in the way. So when we send it down, it was right over here. That's capping the market, all right? If it breaks above it, oopsie daisy, wrong color. If we break above it and hold above it, then it's bullish price action, okay? So like we go up higher. But instead, we wicked into it. Are we gonna get another wick? I don't know. It would, that's what a lot of people were looking for, and I think it was possible. I don't think it's impossible. But now that it will come into the end of the year coming up soon, we've got a month and 9 days left as well. That's crazy, man. In 2024, right, is in a month and 9 days away. What the hell? Bull market comes up right after that. But this high itself caps this whole market itself. That high acts as resistance, 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 and we got a year. I think a month and 9 days left. As long as we close below that high for the yearly, I think we don't go down a lot more lower prices. What lower prices? Well, we'll be in this range over here. This is a yearly range of 2016, I believe. Yeah, 2016. So that high was a range bound environment. We got support here, support there, resistance there, deviation there, resistance here. Send it back to mid-range around 97.5 or so, maybe a little bit higher, and then go back down to 92.2-ish kind of thing. And that will be the level we're looking for dollar index as well. And if the dollar index is going down, what happens to stocks? Stocks go up, crypto goes up, currency goes up, and whatnot. All right. So I was looking at a short on USD JPY for a swing short. I was looking for a retest of the last month mid-range. Didn't get into it. It's come back to range low, so I'm just sitting out of UJ at the moment. But I would love to short UJ anyway. And I was looking at long in that euro. I couldn't long euro. It just rallied away. SPX, I caught a couple of day trades here and there. Then it just rallied quite heavily as well. Nasdaq played in July's range. It's the stock markets are pushing up, right? And that's the beautiful thing about it. What's going on, Anson? Can you explain on entry triggers? Anson, look, right, when it comes to entry triggers, it's like this, right? Let's just say, all right, so let's just fucking do this, right? So let's go on to the weekly. Let's go on the weekly, and let's build that range, right? I've got that range already here in green, okay? So that's 2016's high, 2016's low, somewhere low, wherever the fuck it is. It is somewhere here. That's not right. Let's go back to the yearly. It should be. I'm sorry, it's That's not right. It should be. This one here. It's my mistake there. My mistake there. Okay. There we go. That's it. So we got something like that, right? Now let's go back onto this. I fucking got that wrong. I don't know what the fuck I was looking at. Capital in the market there. Cool. Anyway, let's go to the daily, right? So what is an entry trigger, right? So as you can see from the whole thing, right? This, as you see, resistance, support, deviation comes up into an order block there. Resistance, support, deviation pushes up there, breaks out there. Is it a deviation or is it going to be bullish or thingy or bullish? We don't really know entirely as well. So if I just mark out this level here, an entry trigger would be something like this, right? So it's all in relation to times, okay? So this is your mid-range, right? This is your range band environment. We know this is what it is level, right? If you want confirmation, we need to lose this low here, right? So go for confirmation for lower price into the mid-range and working down to range low. I'm looking for this as a deviation of the macro range. So what I want to see is a breakdown, a retest, maybe a bit of a pullback. This low here will be my trigger. So for entry, right, we'll let it do its thing, get back underneath it, find support, breaks below it, it shows me bearish market structure. That'll be my entry trigger to actually go in down to, well, into this area here as target 1, and then looking this as liquidity as target 2, and potentially go into the mid-range and see how we react to the mid-range. We lose below it, lose it the level there, play it back down to range low, taking out liquidity, and liquidity over here. Right, that's my entry trigger. It's a matter of time to actually practice there, but that's generally how I would actually look at things as well. But going back into it, I don't want to get too sidetracked and make this a freaking long session actually, as it should be. We can do entry triggers when it comes on to tomorrow's session. Really, a bit more looking for like scenarios, and we'll talk about BTC and ETH sessions as well in this anyway. So let's not fucking go off the fucking tables off this shit anyway. So yeah. So that's where we are. We are resistance, okay? We are looking like resistance here on the dollar index, which is good. Which is good for crypto. Going down to the 3 months quarterly, what we're looking at, what we've got here so far is that all we've done so far is take our last quarter's high, liquidity is resting over here, and the mid range is around here. So which means we're about the mid range of a quarterly of last quarter's range. Now what I would like to see on a lower time frame, like a daily or so, is let it do its thing, find support, breaks down. Once it breaks down, we can easily go for targets of this low here as a key area, because that's an SR. That low here, support, we're expecting support. If it shanks down below, go down to the final targets there. And then this should actually send the whole market going down itself. But if I go down to the monthly, this whole thing is pinged off one range, right? One monthly range. And what it comes down to January's high and January's low. That's all it is. So the mid-range is about here, all right? It's about here. Let me correct that a little bit lower. It's just about here, okay? And it just so happens where the mid-range is, this is the monthly open here. So we're just where the monthly open is. So I wouldn't fade the monthly open there. We had a massive drop down. Do we get, change the color 1 second there. Excuse me, do we get a bit of a hold back and then a rally up to go back into this area here, back into the range highs, and then finds it breaks down into the mid-range down to range low? I'm not too sure. So I want to let things uncover itself. But if this happens into this area there, then I'm expecting pullbacks across the market on crypto, pullbacks on the SPX, pullbacks on Euro, and a push up high on UJ. So that's what I'll be looking for as well itself. But however, if we actually lose the mid-range, right, let it do its thing, bearish market structure, then we can go for liquidity. The next liquidity is off this low, which is August's low, and then come back down into January's low. And that's pretty much it. And that's the range band environment. Then we figure out what happens. Do we hold support and ping pong the fuck out of it left, right, and center? Or are we going to finally close the fucking consolidation and have the expansion on the downside? We're not too sure, but we'll work it out. We got some levels, we got some work to put into it and some effort into it as well. But let's go into Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is the main thing. What's going on, Richard? It's been a fucking while, man. How you doing, brother? So let's do a Bitcoin top-down analysis and work this together as a team, and we can see what we're looking at, right? So the first things first, right, is this, okay? We are right here. This is our candle that we're playing in right now. We are stuck within this low and this high, which is last year's low and last year's high. So there's liquidity on both sides. So if I were to mark out a Fibonacci, that's that there, make this high over here, change the color. We'll do this together, right? So this, every stream, this is our chart. This is the YouTube chart. So like no one's gonna mess with this one. 2022 high. And we get to play this together and actually monitor and watch things how, all together as a team, really. As I think that's fucking Sweet there. So that's that there. And then we got the fucking lows. Again, those right down. Whoopsie daisy. Going into the future right there by a freaking 100 years. And then let me just try there. And the number is 31,850. Alright. Whoopsie daisy. My freaking coffee there. 31,850. Copy this and paste that there. Alright. Put that as dashed lines and I know what I'm looking at. Alright. So now I know I've got 2022's range. Okay. So we're above the mid range, which is good. As long as we hold the mid range, right, and show bullish price action, we can go into 2022's high. So that's a good thing there. So I'm not too really stressed out over there. Let's go to the quarterly. What have we done so far in the quarterly? Well, this is the beautiful thing about the quarterly. We've taken out liquidities. This liquidity over here, this liquidity over here, this liquidity, and this liquidity. We are hunting liquidity to the upside, which if it's hunting liquidity to the upside on the quarterly, that's showing something that's bullish. Because if it's bearish, we wouldn't be hunting liquidity to the upside, we'll be hunting liquidity to the downside. So the market structure has shifted from being bearish to bullish, right? And which we'll go on to the weekly, and I think it will make it a little bit more clear. We have talked about this before a little while back on the YouTube show, but it's been so long. We're going to do the whole thing together. More regular YouTube streams for 2024. Dude, Musa, we're going to do it every single week. Tuesday is going to be Bitcoin. Ethereum's going to be a Bitcoin Ethereum, and on Wednesday it's going to be alt sessions. And on the alt sessions, you guys can actually put in your requests and whatnot, and we can actually look at your charts as well. So like your bags that you're looking at, and in actual fact, right, if you can convince me to buy a bag, fucking let's buy that fucking bag in it. So the way I'm playing this in the beginning of the year, I've been very open about this. I'm just hardening, right? So I've spent the whole year buying tokens, bro. Like I bought Link right in March, fam. I thought like $5.80. I tell you something now. The maddest thing ever happened, right? Fucking 9 months later, now he pops over, and now I'm like 3x up. Bruv, he returned on me, and not only did he return on me, he fucking went below. So it's one of those ones like, yo, do I sell? Do I sell? I've been in that game before. I know how it feels. So, it's a scary moment, don't get me wrong, all right? And pullbacks is pullbacks, which is why we're going to talk about the market structure on the weekly in just a few moments there. So what I'm saying is we're taking out liquidity to the upside or great, right? On the quarterly, what we've also done, I think there's a bit of a consolidation over here, you know, right there. This is the low, and that's the high. And as you can see, consolidation over here, and leads to a breakout. Do we get a retest of this area here? Bullish price action, we can go up into 2022's high. That's the key thing. I do want to bring up another thing also, right? Which is, I think it's, to me, is the macro of all macro ranges, right? This is a range, to me, is the most important one above all else. Joel, how's it going? Good to have you here, my brother. Shout out to you guys, man. We got Gandalf, Anson, Mike, Zevo, Musa, Richard, Joel. The list goes on, you know, like, smash the likes as well. Appreciate that as well. And yeah, so what I was saying is the key of all this range, right, to me, is not 2022's high. 2022's range for me is just liquidity. That's all I'm using this for. But the macro range I believe we're playing in is in this particular range. I've been banging on it for quite some time, and the guys in the DCC, they must be fed up of me as well. They're like, dude, can you just shut the fuck up? Right? I wouldn't be surprised if they think that. But in my opinion, this is the whole range. That first quarter of 2022's range. The mid-range comes in around 44.8k. It's around here. That's where the mid-range comes into, right? And what I've got here is this. This high here acts as resistance. This low here, we shank it down. Let me change the color so it shines out a bit more. We shank it down, and then what we do, we get back up, and this is now confirmed to be a deviation the moment we close above it. So any pullback here is fine to go to where? 44.8k, and potentially going into this liquidity here and this liquidity over here. Those two liquidity. What happens there, I don't really give a shit. But I'm more focused about 44.8k. This area, this mid-range between these 2 points. That's all I'm more focused about. If we get that, squeeze it up there, happy days. But what I do expect afterwards is a bit of a breakdown and then play it back down into the 32k level, or possibly into a deeper pullback for 28.1k. And then we have the Bitcoin halving, and then we consolidate and then rally up and make a new all-time high. That's my freaking opinion as well. So, you know, like playing, you have to bear in mind, right? Like some of you guys might be thinking about this, like, yo, do I buy now? Do I not? Or whatever. You have to look. I'm not here. This is not financial advice or whatever. I'm just doing my own thing. And but you have to be quite comfortable to in the idea of pullbacks. When the market is bullish, it's bullish, right? And this is all comes down to market structure, which is what we're going to do next on the weekly now. So, right? So if we go drop it down to the monthly, just have a look quickly. What's happened? Well, we're coming into a key order block there, which is key resistance. This low here is key resistance. This whole thing is resistance, right? So we finally got some sort of key resistance here. Do we pull back, come back into this level here, into this quarterly high here, hold support there, retake this as another long over here to about, 37k? From 37k, do we hold above it and rally up and then shoot up to 44 and then these highs over there? That's possible. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I really don't know, but I'll be quite spectacular. I'll be quite happy to actually see that happening as well. Because at the end of the day, right, we have to make some fucking move on this as well. But the market's been up so bullish. It's just like the third month is actually a bullish month as well. October was Uptober. We got Lucky Gupta. How's it going, my bro? We got Sierra, my bro. It has been a fucking while, man. Thank you so much for coming on as well. I appreciate you guys, man. Generally do. We're gonna smash this all together, man. So fucking let's get this going anyway. So we got a lot. The beautiful thing about the crypto run, right, is like this, right? Let me just chat to you guys for just a moment there, and then we go back to the stream. Now, in 2017, I played this, right, and I thought I was a fucking genius. That's the truth. I thought I was a bad man. You know, like, you know, when you think like you're making longs and longs and longs and you're making money, and you think you're a fucking like Scarface, Al Pacino kind of shit. And then come 2018 in there, and I thought, you know what, new year, new me, I'm good. I don't fucking worry about this. I got this in it. And then I learned about what the bear market is, and it was a nightmare. It was a absolute fucking nightmare. You know, imagine, you know, like you're walking down the road in it, right? And all of a sudden, some thief comes out of nowhere, right? And you let it happen as well. It's not like you're fighting back. Some geezer comes out the fucking bush or some shit. I don't know why a bush, but he comes out of a bush. Points a fucking water pistol, not a fucking gun, just a water pistol, right? So you know it's a water pistol, and he's like, "Give me your fucking money." And then all of a sudden, right, you're emptying your pockets, you're giving to the guy, and you're fucking taking your trousers off, your belts off, and everything like that. He's stripped you off from your clothes. He's just left you in your underwear. He's got mercy on that as well. Thank God for that. And that's what happened to me in 2018. I felt like that's what happened as well. It might be different to other people, right? Some people might be a bit worse than that, but I think we can all relate to that kind of story as well. And so come to 2020, 2021, I felt to myself, never again. So 2021, I made it. I think I've done really, really well, but I could have done better. The problem is the fear. And fear is a big thing, and that's the issue when it comes to majority of us as well. We've experienced the bear market, we've experienced bull run, depending on the time you come in, whether it's the beginning of 2020 or mid 21 or end of 21. If you join mid 21, end of 21, you're at a disadvantage because the run has already happened. That's the problem there. But if you come in the beginning of the year or the beginning of the bull run when the halving happens, which you lovely people are, you get to experience the whole ride up, right? So you're making money from the ground up all the way to the top, and when it comes and starts breaking down, by the time, even if you cut a bit late compared to everybody else, let's just say, even if you get the cut a little bit late, you are still at a massive advantage, and you're still on life-changing money. But the key thing is always taking profit, number one, right? And that's the main thing when it comes on. Is the stream offline? It shouldn't be offline. Oh, bro, I don't know what's happened now. Like I'm having a bit of an issue when it comes to the drop frames, but we'll figure this out afterwards, sort of, or for tomorrow. I'm gonna carry on, and hopefully we should actually pick up. Apologies for that. So I think it's still recorded. I do know it's still recorded, but we should be okay. So but yeah, so played. So like if you play it from the beginning of the bull run, you get to actually experience the whole run, the whole thing there. I do apologize, Ever, as well. I don't know what happened there. I am having a bit of technical issues there, so I'm gonna try and speed up this whole process. And tomorrow, for the alt session, we ain't gonna have that as well. It's fine. I had to lower the quality. Oh shit, that's what it is. I think I gotta sort out my bit rate. I got my boy ND did tell me about that as well, and I didn't listen to him yet. I'm gonna do that as soon as it's done. But anyway, but yeah, let's get cracking as well. So that's the monthly. We're at resistance now. So if I bring up my levels, right? Go down to the weekly. Let's talk about market structure quickly, right? Quickly, just talk market structure, and I don't want to make this too long because we're already 20 minutes in and we haven't done much. I feel like I fucking don't want to waste your time here. So, you know, like this is the market structure: lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. The whole leg down because we take out these lows over here, and then the market structure starts to shift. We start making higher highs. We're taking out these highs over there. Higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. A lot of people were bearish over here. I don't know why. I don't really understand why would you be bearish, because like influencer A, B, and C might be bearish, doesn't mean that it's gonna be fucking bearish. So if you look at it this way, like what's capping the market up over here currently over there? This was capping the market as resistance, resistance. We flipped it, comes to support. As long as we're above it, it's support. It's support. If we close it and starts breaking down, then fine, we'll hit the shorts. Okay, that's the idea. You need to see a shift in market structure, and you have to remember the market structure was what? Whoopsie daisy, delete all this. Was started making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. This low has to hold over here. This low. If we close below this low, it's game over. It's a shift in market structure. We start breaking down. Makes a higher high, higher low. This is still a higher low because this low here, this O, right, is better than X. It was higher than X. So market structure is still bullish. And then it's tight invalidation there. I can't believe I flopped that trade. Listen, I think it's very, very possible for many people to actually miss out and whatnot. I think the problem comes down to this, right? Is like when you're focused on people on Twitter or YouTube or your friends or all that kind of stuff, right? It can be quite, it messes you about. That's the truth. Is like it messes with your mind frame as well. I don't really look at Twitter that much. I don't really look at people's price views and stuff like that. I will have a quick look, a quick gander, but I like to do my own thing really as well. Then from higher low, it makes a higher high. So for the time being, this is the higher low. As long as we don't lose this in the higher time frame, we're good. We're good. So a pullback for a new higher low is perfectly fine. Do we pull back into here? I don't know. Personally, I'll be perfectly fine with that. I don't really mind too much. So if I were to look at the time frame here in terms of now looking for trades, right? Let's just figure this out. Right after weekly, let's fucking go on to the daily actually. I think it's much better if we go on the daily, right? So we know, right, we are at key areas right over here, right? This area here is a key area that we're finding resistance. Makes sense, right? This is the low right over there. Let's find support, then we lost this and come into resistance. So if we flip this level here, what does that mean? Bullish price action going into what? 40k, from 40 take out liquidity, pushing up into the to these highs and then working our way to all-time high. But we'll get to that in just a moment now. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to bring another chart up. Let me find this chart right here. There we go. Okay, here we go. That's more like it. So where we find resistance is a daily order block. Let me show you this quickly before so we can explain it so you guys understand what I'm looking at. That's the last up candle over here that sent the market down. And when it sent the market down, we finally, after so long, over about a year and a bit, fucking hell, we've come into this and we're finding resistance. So naturally it is resistance. Resistance until proven otherwise. I can play within this range here. This order block here, right, is a range bound environment, hence the Fibonacci there. If we flip this, I'm ready to play for higher price into 44k. Okay, so that's the very key thing for those who actually want to hold on to it. Now, we're above the monthly open. We're above the monthly open. Let's just talk about the bullish scenario right now. I think we get that out of the way, right? We're above the bullish. Sorry, let me get a drink. We are above the bullish freaking monthly open. We're above the monthly open. So as long as we're above the monthly open, it's bullish, right? So if I drop it down to the 4 hours, right? Look on the daily, how's it looking like? What's capping the market at the moment there? I would say it will be this. This high. This high is capping the market. As soon as we flip that, we can start playing for the higher prices into that daily order block there, which we'll talk about in just a moment there. That's one thing, right? At the same time, if I drop it down to the 4 hours, what we're looking at, I've got a bit of a freaking trend line here, and I don't fade trend lines until we break trend lines, right? So what do I mean by that? This is the trend line here that we're playing on. This low here, bring it up there, something like that, all right? It looks like we're broken underneath it, so there, yeah, about that, that's about right. So you can see it, whoopsie daisy, in black line there, holding the trend line over there, so it's underneath it. If it were to break down, I would take the shorts itself, but we are at support. We are at support. What I would do want to pay attention to first, right, is like if it's gonna be a short. Where's that chart? I have another chart where it's gonna be the basis for my shorts. Here we go. Here we go. That's better, right? Fucking hell, I'm all over the fucking place today, isn't it? Right. So what I've got is this weekly high and this weekly low, weekly range high, weekly range low. This is the mid range, and as you can see, support, looking at support, holding the trend line there. All right, cool. Lower time frame, it looks a bit fucked up. All right, cool. 4 hours. Drop under the 4 hours, and as you can see, I post this on Twitter as well. All right. So as long we've come into a retest into here, as long as we hold into it, stop loss of it is perfectly fine. Push it all the way up to. I'm looking for liquidity at this range high. That's what I'm looking for. If we can get up to these range highs and thinking like maybe a pullback in here one more time to allow other people in to actually get on board, and then a flip of this level here will be enough, which is the midpoint between these 2 points over here, and then we can go to the weekly range highs, and then from there we'll see what happens. Do we actually break above and shoot up higher for the higher prices, which we'll talk about the order block to play up higher, or is it going to be a breakdown into this level to play back into the mid-range, well, into the trend line and then into the mid-range? That's what we'll be looking for as well. Now the bearish play for me, right, for me to start looking for 32k, right? So if I bring up, where's the chart there, this chart here, go to the weekly, sorry, let me just add that back up. So we've got this level here, there, go into the weekly, there we go. So the idea to play a short into a pullback, if it were to come into around 31,850, possibly into these levels here, it's simply going to be on this, right? Let me just drag this across here, right? Do we spike up? Let it do its thing, break down, take the trade all the way down to the mid-range. From the mid-range, play it back down to the range low. From the range low, if we lose this level there and break down, we play the continuation, taking out these lows over here, liquidity here, and playing back into the mid-range. And this will be like as we broke out, come back for a retest, and then from there we'll see what happens. If we can hold in or maybe a deviate it and hold above it and get back higher, that'd be great. That's the extreme pullback when it comes to Bitcoin. I want to see this, like if it's going to pull back and lose that weekly range, I want to see actually get like a hold that 32k level, step back into that weekly range higher, and then go up a lot more higher and start bouncing up higher. That'll be the ideal scenario. But what if it starts sending off? That's the key thing. Now we've got the news of daily order block here now, right? Let me just drop it down to the 1 hour. It makes it a little bit more sensible there. What I've got here, let me delete this. Delete this, right? It's this now. This orange line is the weekly open. We are below. So what we've done so far is we've taken out Monday's low, right? Which means to me, where we're going to go for liquidity, Monday's high. You see how things already changed now? All you got to do sometimes is just like looking at the higher time frame is one thing, but looking at the lower time frame, you got to respect that lower time frame one by one, right? So let's just do that again. So I like playing Monday's range, and this is why I like to do it on Tuesday, right? So you got Monday's low, and then you got Monday's high. Liquidity is resting on both sides, okay? Where we are at the moment, the mid range, a little bit higher, maybe into this area. That's the mid range, okay? And from the mid range, as you can see, this low here, it's a deviation. We close into it. We're getting capped at the mid range, and once we step above the mid range, or hold above it, bullish price action, off we go to the range highs. In the DCC, you guys should actually already understood that this is what we discussed in the morning, and that'll be the next long to the range highs. And then the breakout will be quite simple, right? Oopsie daisy. And the breakout is once we step up now into the order block there, now we can play this freaking range. Let it do its thing. It takes that Monday's high, holds above it, maybe a bit of a deviation, bullish price action, and then we play it back to target 1. And then target 2 into the mid-range. First target will be the 25%, which is 38.250, call it. And then the second target will be 38.850, call it as well, the mid-range there. And then from the mid-range, we can actually reclaim it and carry on, continuation. We play the second target over here, and then to 40k. And then we'll see what happens there. So when we do have like a movement in price, quite a strong movement in price as well, like a surge in price or whatever, and little updates here and there, I will go live and we will discuss this as a team together. So in terms of the market itself, yeah, we are on the underside of the trend line there. It's not very clear. It looks kind of shit. I want to see what happens. Do we come back to them to this? Breaks down. If it breaks down here, then that'll be my short then. Then we'll start looking for these lows over here. Right, because the market structure is slightly shifting over for bearish side, and then it will be to me that we lost this trend line and let's play down lower prices. That's all it comes down to. So and then we look for the potential of 32k if we were to come to 32k and using that weekly range. Okay, hopefully that helps out when it comes to Bitcoin. Now I'm going to do Ethereum quickly, and then that will be the end of the stream, and then we'll do tomorrow. All right, tomorrow we'll do the whole fucking monarchy with total 2 and all that kind of shit. Okay, 1 second there. So Ethereum, let's go on the 12 months, right? Oopsie daisy. Let me get a clean chart, delete everything off. Cool. Ethereum, what's happened here, all right? So same scenario as we can see with Bitcoin, right? Is we got the same range. We got 2022's range high. Text 2022 high. And then we've got the same thing over here. 2022's low. And then I want to copy this, paste this, turn this off. And then the mid range is 2387.39. 2387.39. Copy, paste. Right, cool. And then let me just dash this out there. Put this as dash. Cool. Delete there. That's what the range we've got. Drop it down. As you can see, we're far from the mid range. The mid range comes in around 2400, 2387. So that'll be a target for the for ETH as we carry on there. We're above the yearly open as well. Flat body candle. Does it take it out? I don't know. We'll figure it out as the time goes on. Let's go to the quarterly. Let's see what the quarterly is telling me. The quarterly is telling me slightly different to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like highs, and whatever. Quarterly, right? What's capping the market? It's this high over here. This goddamn high is actually, excuse my language, sorry there, is the thing that's actually fucking everyone over now, right? I think that's all quite clearly, evidently, that's the high. So let's mark that out there, put that as a green, and I'm gonna make that quite thick. So I know that's a key level, so which means that we can flip above here, bullish price action, where we're looking for 2.4k into the mid-range. And then from there, we'll see what happens if we can flip this level there and play catch-up with BTC and go into 2022's high. That's the key thing that I'll be looking for as well. Let me charge my phone because I'm going to go to the airport soon as well. 1 minute there. There we go. Charge my phone there. Sorry about that. I'm going to head to the airport in about half an hour or so. So I need to actually make sure phone's all right. I don't want to be freaking battery low in it, and then what am I going to be listening to? I like to listen to my podcast and like some Joe Rogan, some shit like that. Joe Rogan's sick, man. You know what? I'll tell you something. The dream is one day to actually get to actually have him, to host him. I don't know if that's possible. I don't fucking think it's true, but you know what it is? Anything is true. You just put your mind to it, work hard, and shit happens, you know. A lot of shit happens, man. I just started from like, I'm a nobody, bruv. That's the thing is, and that's the beautiful thing. And that you guys don't understand. Like, to me, I'm just a normal geezer anyway. But anyway, regardless of that. So let's get back into it. So that's the thickness that's actually capping the market. Flip above it, go to bullish price action. At the moment, it's resistance. I have to agree with that. But what am I seeing right now is that we are in a range. What range are we in? We are in some liquidity range here. We are in stuck between this low and this high over here. Okay, so let me just bring that up. The low comes into what? 1627 point, fucking hell, 27, 29, 16, 27, 27.29. Mark that as a bit of a greeny line. No, I don't like that line. Ugh. I'll mark it like that. Okay, let me just change this color a bit different as well. Make it this like that. Cool. Go onto the monthly. What we're looking at as well. Just clean this up and see what we are. Well, I've got a bit of a range, man, environment on the monthly as well. I've got April's low and April's high. You know, that's the range band environment. As you can see, consolidation. Oopsie daisy. Consolidation over here. Deviation. We've taken out April. Did we take out April's high? April's high is what? 2140, 84, 2136. Ooh, still got liquidity. Yeah, that's it. We've still got liquidity to be taken out there. So, you know, we've got some work to play out on there as well. So, I'll drop it down to the weekly. Let's have a look what we got. And on the weekly, we'll bring this up there. My level, oopsie daisy, not fudge. On the weekly, looking quite bearish there. A bit of a bearish move there. Let's just drop it down to the daily, see what's going on. Yeah, we've got that. We found that resistance right over here at 21 30k as well level there. So moment, right, what I've got here, if I just highlight this, right, I think I'm gonna draw on the 4 hours. I'll show you the bullish play. The bullish play is like this, right? I've got a bit of a trend line, a breakout trend line. One of my favorite things when it comes to bull run, right? There's a very typical thing that happens in bullish markets. You have this trend line over here where you find resistance, 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 and all I'm waiting for is a breakout. When we get a breakout, higher highs and whatever, and you start to show me a shifting market structure, because at the moment it's lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. You know, are we going to make a new lower low? I don't know. So if we get a shifting market structure, then I can start saying that, yo, let's take the fucking long, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm seeing right now is this is acting as resistance, right? If I let me just zoom into here. Yo, architect, how's it going, man? Yeah, last week Monday's range worked really well. It did as well. I think you know what Monday's range is one of my favorite ones. You don't fuck with that, all right? So what I've got here is this now. I've got this level here. All right, so you see this? That's the last down candle over here on the daily that's acting as support. All right, it's acting like so it's down candle over here. We don't get a retest there. We come into it, support. We push up. We displace away from the area there. And where's it come into, right? And I actually marked this on Twitter as well, really as well. So it was a straight up long to go from there. You want to go in like a stop loss there in validations over here. Like you can play aggressive right over here after this all the block there. And all it is, right? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. It looks like we've broken market structure over here. Higher highs, higher low. Is it going to make a new higher high? We'll see how it goes. But we do have the trend line. Once we break out the trend line, happy days. Let's draw in Monday's range as well to add further confluence. Let me bring that up as well. And all I'm looking for, oopsie daisy. Let me just put this up there. All I'm looking for is something like this. Let it, oopsie daisy. Yeah, let it do its thing. Once it starts holding up, breaks above, shows me higher highs, bullish price action, maybe pulls back like that. Then I'm looking for what? Liquidity over here, liquidity over here, liquidity over here, which will go into April's high, and that's it. And after April's high, we'll see what's next as well. Break above April's high, like we discussed, then we start looking at $2,400, aren't we? Looking for freaking that 2022's mid range. That's what we're looking for. Now that's all I'm when I see Ethereum. If I want to draw in Monday's range, what's Monday's range looking at? Monday's low is right here. Monday's high is over here. We are back in Monday's range. That's Monday's low, Monday's high. All we've done is a deviation. So if I want to, if I want to start looking for more of a trade scenario, then let me just do this then together, right? Let me mark this out, right? Where's my blue box? Right, that's the area that I'm quite keen about as well. So if we are going to look for shorts, it will be coming into this area here. Obviously, we're going to be marking this area first. This area here. Let me put that as black. Put that as 1. I know that's an area